one is to set some goals. Because if you don't have any goals and you don't know what you're trying to achieve, you don't know what you're working towards, it's very hard for you to measure progress, for you to set a plan, etc., etc. So making sure you know where you're heading to is the first thing. Because if you don't have somewhere that you're heading to, you can't make a plan, you can't measure your progress. And often that's actually the only thing that's going wrong when people say, oh, I don't feel like I've really made any progress. They just don't know how to measure the progress that they've made. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is talking about more practically about really actually making progress on your harp, how you can actually practice and really see improvement. And that is by ensuring that you are including practice on developing skills, developing technique and sound production, and practice on repertoire development. All right? Now, further to that, it's not enough to just do a warm-up and then play some tunes. Okay, you will get a little bit of progress by doing that. But if you actually target your warm-up based on 1, your goals, and 2, the repertoire you are trying to learn, you will see much more progress quicker. What do I mean by that? Let's say I'm playing a piece and it's got lever changes and it's got some tricky tucking of the 4th finger. And I notice that I'm often tripping up when I have to change a lever, or I'm often tripping up when I tuck my 4th finger. Because we're all here as independent learners, a good teacher, not all teachers, but a good teacher would notice what was going wrong in that piece, and they would say, hey, here's an exercise for you to start your practice time with that's going to help address the issue you're having in this piece. Now, here in How to Harp, we're trying to teach you guys how to do that by yourself, which is one of the reasons why we have the individual exercises, so that you can say, hey, look, in this piece, I've got lever changes, I've got tucking, I've got harmonics. When I create my warm-up, I'm going to include warm-ups that are based on those skills. So as I'm warming myself up, I'm not just warming my fingers up, I'm not just generally improving my skill set, but I'm improving my skill set in order to play the piece that I have in front of me. It's not random. Okay, I'm not just jumping in and randomly playing anything. I'm making sure that it's targeted skills that I'm practicing in my warm-up. The second thing about practicing in order to actually make progress is to choose pieces that are appropriate. Now that might be like, oh, how do I do that? And what does that mean? It means that quite often as harpists, that I see this a lot, we hear a piece that we love and it's actually far beyond our current skill set, but we decide that's what I want to learn. Now, one of 2 things happens when we do this, and it depends on the kind of person you are. And we're just different people, and it's all right. It doesn't matter which camp you're in. It's okay, but it's about being aware of yourself. The first type of person picks skills that helps them reach that goal of playing that piece, understands that that piece is far beyond their skill set, and it might take them 1, 2, 3 years to get there, but doesn't let it dampen their spirits, keeps going with pieces that are just a little bit challenging for them, but has this other really challenging thing in the background that they're still working on. And by choosing something that's far beyond their skill set, they really push themselves forward in trying to achieve the piece. That's camp number 1. Camp number 2 is that someone doesn't choose exercises that help them achieve that very difficult piece, that they are unrealistic about their time goals for achieving that very difficult piece, and they expect to be able to play it in 3 or 4 months instead of 2 or 3 years, that they allow that to really bog them down and make them feel depressed, like they're not making any progress, and why are they even doing this in the first place? and it puts them off practice entirely. Now, there's positives and negatives in both of these camps, okay? Both of them have got things that are really, really good about them and really not so good about them. What's important is that you know yourself. If I choose a piece that's way too hard for me, I'm going to get depressed, I'm going to not want to practice, and it's going to be really discouraging to me. So I'm going to choose a piece that is just a little bit beyond my skill set. So I'm just pushing myself a little bit. How do I do that in the membership? You choose a piece that you like, you start with a beginner arrangement, and then you dip into the intermediate arrangement and start to add small elements from that. This way you're creating something that pushes you just a little, but what you don't do is you go, oh, I like Heather's advanced version, I'm just going to learn that. Okay? So it's about knowing yourself and knowing what's appropriate to you. So those are kind of my bits of advice. The last thing I would say to do in practice in order to really see progress is make sure that you're revisiting older material so as you don't lose skills from the other material, and that you're allowing time for creativity. Because when you practice cultivating creativity, like a bit of noodling or a bit of improvisation, a bit of chord recognition, etc., when you practice cultivating these skills, your whole musicianship improves, and you're becoming a well-rounded musician. Okay?